we're here at the Synapse 2024 Summit with Ryan Schneider from Thrive 25. Welcome. How's your day been?
Day's been great. I got a chance to host a panel with some amazing founders.
Oh, that's awesome.
We talked about burnout and leading a company and all things mental health, physical health, and how that impacts how we show up and our leadership of our teams. So it's been really a wonderful day.
That's fantastic, especially with so many young entrepreneurial minds here, right? Finding that work-life balance is almost unattainable for a lot of people, or at least they think so.
Yeah, and it was great because we had a 30-year-old single entrepreneur, we had a mother of 2 young kids, and we had a 50-year-old on the panel. And all of them are going through their own challenges and how do I manage my time? How do I balance work and things outside of work? And yeah, even like the 30-year-old, like you said, he went from working 16, 17-hour days. We got him going, working out in the morning, taking care of himself. And you actually end up spending less time in the office or at work, and yet you're more productive and efficient. It's kind of one of those weird things.
It's one of those things where it's like, I always use the same analogy. If I told you you had a month to pave a road or 12 months to pave a road, you're going to get the task done, right? In a month or 12 months, whatever I tell you have. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So when you were developing and starting Thrive 25, like what was the aha moment that pushed you down that road?
So it was really being myself as the avatar. So I kind of built a couple startups in the past out in LA and moved here to Tampa in 2019. And I've been helping Embark Collective as an executive coach and advisor. So I work with 120 startups and I see how they're building it, how they're finding product market fit. And so I align my passion, health and wellness, with feeling as a 40-year-old myself with 2 young kids starting to slow down. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not ready for this. This is insane. I can still run.
40 is the new 25.
Yeah, exactly. I still got it. So it's all about how can we eliminate that knowledge gap, eliminate that motivation friction, and just help people figure out, what are the things that really matter to me? How can I still hit my goals? But I only have a couple minutes a day to figure out to spend on that. So we started with a newsletter. We're building out some other mediums, and now we're building a whole personal longevity advisor platform for people to literally have the answers they need and the motivation they need in their pocket at all times.
So correct me if I'm wrong, when you refer to the newsletter, this is just something very simple and fast to digest.
Absolutely.
I need 3 minutes a day to better my day.
You're going to get a quick win, you're going to get a did you know, and you're going to get some inspiration. That's literally awesome. The 3 things that we want someone to walk away from. I feel a little bit better. I have something I can share with my partner at the end of the day or my friends. And I now know, hey, maybe I should add this to my routine if it fits with what my goals are.
So I would classify you serial entrepreneur, right? Starting many businesses and that. What's the one hurdle, maybe not just one, but what's the most common hurdle that you come across when you're starting these businesses that you would advise somebody that they're a brand new idea, they're a baby in the entrepreneurial space, be like, avoid this pitfall and hurdle at all costs?
Yeah, I think the big thing is you start with an idea instead of the problem.
Okay.
Right. So you might be interested in something, or you might be like, this is really cool. I mean, even like take all the new technology that's out there with AI. There's so many things you can do, so many ideas that might be really interesting, but who is that pain point solving a problem for? And you have to understand who's your customer, what's keeping them up at night, or what are they struggling with, whether it's B2B in a corporate setting or even B2C consumer. What does that consumer want or need? And the more you can focus on just solving the problem and less about the how, you're in a much better position to be successful and scale that. Now, undoubtedly, that path is going to go all over the place, and that's why you laser focus on the problem, not the idea, because the idea might change. The how, the technology, all of that is going to evolve over time.
It's going to change almost instantaneously at this rate.
Exactly. But I kind of go back to the Jeff Bezos kind of concept. We all say, oh, I'm building this concept because this is where the world's going. He's like, no, build a business for what's not going to change. Customers are never going to not want packages faster. They're never going to not want prices to be lower, right?
You're always going to need shoes.
Exactly. So you think about those things that are just those staying things that are top 1 or 2 problems for someone at any given point in their life. And I'm going to make their life better in that situation.
A friend of mine once told me many, many years ago, he said, the most important people in the world are people that are in the solutions business. Mm-hmm. We all have different problems. Let's be in the solutions business, whatever that is.
Well, and that's the best thing for your own mental health too. Like we were talking before we got on air, right? Like how do you set up your night? How do you get the best sleep? How do you become positive, right? So many of us are going to take maybe today, oh, that investor didn't show up at Synapse, right? Or, oh, my panel wasn't as big as I wanted it to be. You can either take that, empty mindset, or you can say, what went well, right? And how do I solve that? How do I make it better next time? And so everything you just said is so key. How am I in the solution business, not in the victim business?
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. So, what's been like the coolest thing you've seen today? That like you're like, that's pretty awesome.
I would, you know, to be honest, I've been kind of prepping on some of the panels we've been hosting, and so I haven't seen all the technology. So I'm not going to give you a technology answer. I think what's really cool is we had a gentleman in from Portugal leading a breathwork session, and it was in an open area of couches, no doors. And here we are, you know, what, Synapse, thousands of people walking around, and yet dozens of people were vulnerable enough to sit down, close their eyes, sometimes lay down, and do rounds of heavy breathing, like this Wim Hof breathing. And talking to them afterwards, they felt absolutely incredible. They were so happy they did that. But I think that's what I've seen is I've seen authenticity and vulnerability of people being much more honest with who they are and what they want to experience and not worrying what other people are thinking about.
It's interesting you say that because we've been here all day. We've been talking to all kinds of people, right? Every demographic you can imagine, every age group, everything. Everything that's important at a technology conference always comes back to people and being able to be there and drive it forward.
Yeah.
We're at a tech conference. We're talking about these great big ideas with all these opportunities, but everybody is still focused on the people, which is fantastic, which should, in my opinion, remove some of the fear from technology as well.
Absolutely.
Because we're all here. We all need it. We're all humans. It's never going to overtake us, but it should be able to support us.
Yeah, and you, again, our panel was about leadership, and we talked so much not about taking care of your own mental and physical health as a founder, as a CEO, but how you show up for your team. And that's, again, technology. There's so much you can do for accountability, nudges. You mentioned this great app that maybe you don't use social media as much, and so there's a lot we can use technology in the right way to lead us or guide us the right way. But at the end of the day, we still crave human connection and human interaction, and that leadership, that inspiration we're going to get from founders and people we work with. That's not going to go away anytime soon.
No, so absolutely not.
I loved when the fact that you've got these CEOs that are up there, you know, being open with this whole audience, being like, I go to therapy, right? Or they'll say, you know, I have to be vulnerable in front of my team for them to trust me. I feel like a couple of years ago that was a little more rare, and now they're realizing that is such a key part of being a leader and bringing the human part of who you are to everything you're doing, including your job.
That's awesome, man. Ryan, tell us, how do people get a hold of you? How do they connect with you? How do they learn more about Thrive 25?
Yeah, so we started as a newsletter. We've got thousands of people getting this amazing 3 to 5 minute health and longevity newsletter every week. Thrive25.com. Super. We made it like a landing page. You literally subscribe for free. Give us your email. You got that. We're just now launching a podcast. All the podcasts are 5 minutes or less. So again, all for the time-strapped individual. Learn about, you know, your health in all of our 9 elements: your mindset, what to eat, how to move, you know, building connection. So we have that podcast on YouTube and all the major channels, Thrive 25 and 5. Find us on social, and we'll be launching some new products here in the next couple months that I'm super excited about.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to hearing about them on the podcast and in the newsletter.
Awesome.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Really appreciate it.
Enjoy the rest of your day, sir.
You too.